A 33-year-old man was given a measure of restraint for tearing off a St. George ribbon from a fellow villager in the village of Netinka, Bryansk region. The investigator insisted on arrest, but the court chose a measure of restraint, house arrest.
It was preliminarily established that in March 2023, a resident of the Bryansk district of the Bryansk region, while in a public place in the village of Netinka, in the presence of unauthorized persons, tore the symbol of Russian military glory, St. George ribbon from the man's clothes, and desecrated it. From the message of the press service of the Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation in the Bryansk region on the official website.
A court in Russian Tobolsk sent a 15-year-old schoolboy to a neuropsychiatric dispensary. According to the Russian investigation, the teenager planned to start a fire in the local military registration and enlistment office. On the eve of the anniversary of the full-scale invasion of the Russian Federation into Ukraine, he took a Molotov cocktail, a lighter, and went towards the military registration and enlistment office. On the way, he was detained by Federal Security Service officers. For this, he passes under the article on preparing for a terrorist attack. Tamara Parshina, a 23-year-old resident of Khabarovsk, is accused of treason. Under this article, the girl faces life imprisonment.
During the operational search activities, it was established that the suspect, acting on the motives of political hatred and enmity, transferred personal funds for the acquisition of weapons, ammunition and uniforms by the armed forces of Ukraine. From the message of the Federal Security Service of Russia on the official website.
In the Yaroslavl region, a scientist in the field of physics and mathematics, a corresponding member of the Russian Academy of Sciences, was arrested under an article on financing extremism. According to the accusations, Sergei Abramov allegedly transferred money to one of the organizations banned in Russia. The man was placed under house arrest until June 10, 2023. On May 11, the church court defrocked the clergyman of St. Andrew in Lublin, priest Ioan Koval. The reason was that in the prayer he replaced the word victory with the word peace. The parishioners wrote a denunciation against him.
It was about the fact that he gave his own version of the prayer that is read in the church in connection with the military operation, and refused to follow any kind of instructions from the wizard under whose role he is, the dean, the rector. During the trial itself, he said in the same way that nothing would change. Vladislav Tsipin, vice chairman, Diocesan Court of the Moscow Diocese, in an interview with Pravmir.
The Traktorozavodsky court of Chelyabinsk sent a local resident Alexei Sidorov to a pre-trial detention center for 2 months on charges of justifying terrorism. The reason for the case was Sidorov's stream, during which the man talked about the drone attack on the Kremlin on May 3, 2023, and wished the Ukrainians to reach the Kremlin. Sidorov has already been included in the register of terrorists and extremists.
I am an ordinary person. I spend these streams just for entertainment. I don't have a political channel, and it's only for 160 people. 160 people watched my channel.
Since the beginning of the invasion of Ukraine, 19,673 people have been detained for anti-war stance in Russia, according to OVD-Info. More than 30 new repressive laws have been adopted and hundreds of Russians have been prosecuted for anti-war statements. More than 200,000 internet resources are blocked for the truth about what is happening. Since February 24, 2022, Russia has dropped 9 positions in the annual Freedom of Speech Index compiled by Reporters Without Borders. It took 164th place out of the 180.
Cracking down harder than ever on the last remaining independent Russian media outlets, which have been banned, blocked and/or declared foreign agents. Russia's war crimes in Ukraine helped give this country one of the index's worst scores for security, from the World Press Freedom Index, compiled by Reporters Without Borders.
The purpose of all repressions and persecutions in Russia is to intimidate Russian society as a whole, political scientists believe. But those does not reduce the number of dissatisfied with the actions of the Kremlin dictator. On the contrary, every day the number of such Russians, according to independent polls, is growing. Reported by Serhiy Kulas, Natalia Husak, UATV News.